So I want to do a quick tutorial for you guys with the hopes of really demonstrating the whole, trend. The trend is your friend cliche that you hear in the trading community. But before we get into the content, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If there are any tickers that you'd like for me to mark up, feel free to leave those tickers in the comment section, and I will do just that. Um, in the description box, I leave links for my social media, as well as links to my course offerings. And speaking of course offerings, I recently dropped a new course with By the Hood University, and it's a part two to the intro course that we dropped last year. And it goes deeper into price action as well as touching on trading psychology in a practical way. But I'm grateful for your viewership, for those of you that are returning viewers, and for those of you that are new here, welcome. But let's go ahead and talk about the trend is your friend. All right, so we're looking at a yearly chart here, and I'm just going to make this real quick and show you guys how to figure out what the trend is, and demonstrate exactly how the trend can be your friend. So one of the big things that you need to think about when trading is what is your time horizon. So if you're trading leaps, this the trend on the yearly chart would be significant to you. So, in knowing that the trend is your friend, what you don't want to do is trade counter trend, because more often than not, you're probably going to lose. And so, you're really just kind of making the probabilities work against you. So, let's go ahead and identify the trend on this yearly chart. All right, so here is your trend on the yearly chart overall. So, the price is going from a low place to a high place on the yearly chart. Let's check out, or okay, so if I'm trading leaps, I want to make sure that I'm positioning myself, overall, in a position where I'm expecting the price to move higher. And of course, there are nuances to that. It really depends on what's going on. Entries and exits and things like that matter. But overall, if you're looking to trade leaps on this, and of course this isn't investment advice, this is strictly for entertainment purposes. But you want to be bullish when the trend is bullish. You want to be bearish when the trend is bearish. But let's check out the monthly chart and see what the trend is there. We're going to do a 10-year monthly chart. So as you can see on the monthly chart, it's the same thing. You got a bullish trend. And like I said, entries and exits matter. So let's say we're looking at this particular series of candlesticks. You don't want to be bearish here because the trend is not your friend here. The price is going from lower to higher. In this situation where the price is just range bound, this isn't somewhere where you would want to look to go long, because in this instance, the trend is changing short term. And so you're likely to lose out if you go bullish, or, if you take a position to the upside. Same thing with the downside. It's not a bearish trend here either. So more than likely, you kind of want to wait for confirmation of a change in trend before you, or a trend reversal, before you, position on this type of play. All right, let's take a look at the weekly chart. Same thing on the weekly. Overall, this trend is bullish. But the thing about, trading is you have to, depending on the time frame that you are using for your context for your trade, um, you have to give it a reasonable amount of time. So, for instance, if I'm trading off the weekly chart, more than likely I'm not gonna go off of, I'm not gonna go out, less than, a week, as far as the expiration is concerned. When my context is the weekly chart, you know what I'm saying? Because I only get one candle per week, and that's not enough data. That's not enough time to watch and see if my hypothesis plays out. And same thing with like a let's say we're going a lower time frame, and say maybe I'm looking at a 4 hour chart. With a 4 hour chart, uh, I'm most likely not going to be trading something that expires that same day. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But let's take a look at the daily chart, and we'll break the daily chart down into multiple time frames to see if we see some different trends developing. So daily chart, the overall trend here is bearish, or not bearish, I'm sorry. It's mostly just kind of not trending at all. And that just means that the price is kind of just trading sideways. So notice that it starts over here at in the low to mid, the low 200s, and the price is currently there in the about 215. So not a whole lot of movement over the past year for this stock in terms of overall trend. So that's something that's very important to think about. And so you have to identify the structure, the market structure for that time frame, and govern yourself accordingly as to what sort of micro trend may be developing. So you want to look at the macro trend. You also want to look at the micro trend. But for this one, if I were trading leaps or something like that, I would not be, I likely wouldn't be looking to get into this position until I see until I get some confirmation of a breakout or a breakdown. Um, let's look at a lower time frame on this daily chart. Let's go down to a 9 month time frame. So same thing, price is just kind of trading sideways overall. Had a little spike up as if it was going to break out, and it came back and retested and didn't hold. In earnings, it sold off big time, down from over 240 all the way down toward or under 210 almost. So that's a huge drop, for this company. Um, but even still, the price is just kind of ranging. So there is no real trend when the price is ranging. And like I said, that does not mean that the overall trend on the yearly chart still isn't bullish. It just means that for the purposes of this time frame, and the purposes of maybe I'm thinking about a short swing about 3 to 6 months, I have to keep in mind what's going on these lower time frames, like your daily chart and things like that. So let's take a look at the 6 month chart, 6 month daily chart. So it looks very similar to the 9 month and the 12 month. You just have less time. So still, you just see that the overall trend is just kind of sideways. Um, Here, and we'll get to that. So even still at this point, it's just ranging. So I don't really care to try to position in this specific ticker. And as we drill down into it, you just get more and more confirmation that this thing is ranging. Of course, you can play the range, but like I said, we're just thinking about this in terms of the trend is your friend, and we have no trend on the daily chart. Let's see if we get something on the 4 hour chart, and really you don't. Well, yeah, no, not really. The last 20 days, you can see that the trend has been bearish though. So you can see here where the price moved from a higher place to a lower place. So in this instance, I definitely wouldn't be bearish because or bullish because I'd be trading against the trend. Not until I see confirmation of a change in the trend or something like that would I consider getting into a bullish position. So Let's take a look at let's look at the 5-day 15-minute chart. Okay, so you can see there, different days bring different trends within the overall trends. So this day, what is this, Wednesday? So you see the day started off where it was just kind of ranging, so no real trend, and then the price drops below that trend and just continues downward. So the trend is your friend. Why would I be bullish for a stock that is whose price action is moving downward? Why even make it hard on myself like that? And then the next day, the very next day, the price moved from a lower place to a higher place, not by a whole lot, but even still, why would I be bearish when the price is moving in an upward direction? So hopefully that clearly demonstrates, the trend being your friend. So identify the trend first of all. Decide on what your time horizon is, whether it's a day trade or whether it's a swing where you're going to have to go out 3 to 6 months or whatever, or whether it's a leap. So and then in addition to that, you want to identify where you want to enter and exit in that position. So those are three things that any trader should be considering when it comes to trading with the trend. And that's not to say that counter trend trading isn't successful, but you want to make this thing as easy on yourself as possible and make the trend your friend. I hope you guys got something out of this video. Please like, share, subscribe again. And if you want to see other topics and content relevant to the markets, let me know, and I'll catch you in the next video.